Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, in this video, I want to do just a quick little educational video for you to help you understand markets and markets in general. One of the things that I look for in time and time again is a thing called price and time. And actually, WD again was very big on price and time, and AKA this is really awesome at helping you predict when the market is actually likely to make a big move, a really big move, or not. And as you can see, for example, on this chart here, okay. Now let me bring up this actually saying here from How to Make Profits in Commodities. That's profits in any market, right? Because they all operate the same way. And it says, if you study price movements correctly, they will tell you more about what the market is going to do than any broker, newspaper, or so-called information. The time period is the most essential because time tells us what prices are going to do. This is so important to my trading, and the reason why it's helped me do so well at trading is because the time tells us what's going to do. Think about the time period, or time is when the market's very quiet. See how when the market's going very quiet here? This is like when the market's gone quiet, it's not doing much, it's just going sideways and it's got all these small little bars. Guess what that is? That is energy building, right? We're building energy, we're building energy. And so what happens is when we actually, look at this here, and the longer we go with here, the more energy we have, the more explosive it's likely to be. Right, so as we can see here on this example here, is that when I saw this here, and then we started to make a higher high and a higher low, and then we started to break up, I knew we're breaking out of this time period, aka this sideways phase, and we're there for 8 months. So with all that time, aka energy building, that when it did release, you can see how fast this market just shot up. Now, was this a fundamental move? Maybe, it could be. But based on how technical analysis and how the markets operate, is that if we go sideways for a long time, that's built up energy, and then the market's likely to make a big move. So in this video, I wanted to just quickly share that with you, is that whenever you see a market or a market just not doing much, like you can see here, just really going sideways, this is the daily chart. When the market does that, and then especially if we can start to see the market breaking out, make a slight higher high, higher low, and we start to break up, this is the point here that with a higher high and a higher low, buyers are definitely in control here, along with the buyers are in control, along with all this time, and that's the reason why we saw such a sharp move. So essentially, guys, if you're looking for stocks that are likely to make a big move, now this is stocks that are highly volatile generally, or highly liquid, are very heavily traded. These are not stocks that that are 20 cents or 10 cents or 5 cents and they do nothing all the time, right? So I hope this helped you out, guys. Whenever you're looking at the markets, in general thumb is that the longer the market doesn't do anything. When you're looking at this, the longer the longer we're likely to see a big move. And that's if you look at this here, and if you look at some of the, right now as I'm doing this recording, you look at some of the gold stocks, the GDX, especially the GDXJ, they're doing the same thing for the last 4 or 5 years. So what do you expect? What do you think is going to happen over the next 5 years in those indices, right? It's just, you can see it on the wall, it's in the making. And so we can see that through there. In fact, let me actually just bring up the let's do this here. Right, let me bring up this here. I'm just going to bring up this background here for a minute. Just going to move all this stuff out of the way. All right, so let me bring up the GDXJ here for a minute. All right, let me bring up the weekly chart. Look at this weekly chart. Notice how this weekly chart has been doing what? And I'm just using this as an example, right? Notice how we've done nothing for all this time through here. Pretty much 1, 2, 3, 3 years, 3 and a bit years. Notice how we have made a little bit of volatility, but notice how it's been in a very, very quiet range through here. What do you think? So 1, 2, 3 years worth of time, when we actually start to break above this resistance, what do you think is likely to happen? Right? So you can see how just by understanding this one technique, this is when things really, really, really do explode. I'll give you another example of a trade that I actually did, right? APT. Look at this here, right? Look at this. Let me just bring this back here, right? So notice how we actually had this, right? Notice how we had, look at all these small bars. Look at all this, look at long. Look at this here, right? Many, many, many years worth of what? Not much going on at all, right? Small bar, small bar, small bar. And as you can see, look what happened. When we actually broke out of that small bars, we came down, then we created what? This was what now? This is a exact same thing as that stock, as that market I showed you, right? We have a high, low. Now we have this big up bar breaking out. After all this small bar sideways, look what happened. It went from around, it actually broke out at 5, went to 10, and then look where it ran to. Right, it actually ran, the breakout here was 10 there, and as you can see, right, 1, 2, 3 weeks later, it actually got up to 40. Why did this make such a big move? Was it because of volatility? Was it because of something else, or was it because of, yeah, right? Even if you look at this, from a weekly perspective, look at this here. And let me squeeze this chart up. Notice, look at all that small bar. See all that sideways, not much going on, and then this very large breakaway bar with an increase in volume. Look what happens. Bam. Right now, again, guys, that doesn't look like much, but look where it was. This here closed where? At $6. Look where it ran to. Let me, because it does that on the thing there, right? So this was $6 here. As you can see, that was $6. That was the breakout bar. Look at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks later, it ran up to 40 and settled at 20. So even from there to there, right? That's still a 250% move. It actually got up to around about a 560% move on the actual stock. Now, me and some of my private clients had options on this, and I remember one of my clients, he got like 3,000% return on this one. Now, he actually got up at like 35. He said, oh, that's it, I'm out of it. And it was absolutely crazy. It's like 3,000% return. Anyway, so I hope you can see, guys, that this is one of the things that I really use all the time in my trading. That whenever I'm trading, I'm always looking for now I have a set of rules I look place, not just for this here, but whenever I see this, it's really, 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 really powerful. Doesn't happen all the time, but if a stock or market is doing this for a long time, you better believe where it's getting ready to make a big move. And when it breaks, wherever that breakout is, it's likely to make a very big move in that direction.